Welcome to another edition of PENSDOWN. On this program, we sit with journalists and we get to understand what they go through in the line of duty. A lot happens before you get to hear the news, but journalists never talk about them because there's no space in the news reports for their own experiences or some of the challenges they face. Today, my guest today is a multiple award-winning data and investigative journalist who is passionate about health, human interest issues, transparency, and accountability in governance. Currently, she is the Niger State correspondent for the Nation newspaper, and she adopts various approaches to telling gender balance, human interest, and investigative stories using a solutions lens with an infusion of data. She has done several investigative reports for her media organization, the Nation newspaper, and other media organizations, including the International Center for Investigative Reporting, ICIR, the Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism, WSCIJ, the Premium Times Center for Investigative Reporting, and the International Center for Journalism. She was one of the pioneer Dubawa Fellows, a fact-checking fellowship to combat misinformation in Nigeria. In 2019, she was voted the one champion in Niger State and was the ICFJ 2018 and 2020 Safety Fellow. She's also an alumnus of the School of Media and Communication, Pan-African University, and a fellow of the African Science Literacy Network, as well as the Reports Women Network. In 2021, she was voted the African Media Development Fund Journalist of the Year, the IJNet Journalist of the Month in May 2021. She was also runner-up of the Feature Writer of the Year and Business Journalist of the Year in 2021. That is at the Nigeria Media Merits Awards. Another area of interest is conflict reporting. Being in a state where insecurity is rife, she has been at the forefront of reporting insecurity issues affecting internally displaced persons and communities that have been plagued by insecurity. Her investigative reports are usually a reference point by legislators and government, and as such, some of the issues have reflected in the reports, and they have been used as advocacy tools to get a change to the affected people. She loves reading, writing, networking, listening to good music, exploring and mastering new digital and storytelling tools, as well as traveling. Joining me on PENSDOWN today is Justina Asishana. Glad to have you today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. I'm honored to be here.
And a happy new year to you.
Thank you.
I hope your year is not already overloaded with a lot of work.
It is. I'm just wondering how the rest of the year will be if the beginning of the year is this, if the workload is this much.
You are an investigative journalist, and some of your reports have been groundbreaking, have made major headlines, and have caused a lot of shakeups. Obviously, some of these should also earn you enemies in big places. How often do you come face to face with threats in the line of duty?
Yes, I do come. I would not say that regularly because I think most times I will not really put it as threats. I'll just put it as accusations and the rest, because I would not say I've really had threats. Although I've been called different names, enemy of the state, this and that, and you don't like looking at good, you don't like reporting good things, you like reporting on the negative things. It has been so funny. And sometimes some people on that say, but you're a lady, you shouldn't be reporting this. The other softer things that you can report are not all these all these issues that bring up a lot of tension in the state. And I say, well, it's most times people that cause the tension by yourself. When you look at the report, address the issues and everything will be good. If the issues are not on ground, we won't write about it. So I really don't. So even when I'm being called enemy of the state, I look at it as that's a good name, because that means I'm doing well. Because if you are not the enemy of the government, that means that means you are their friend, which means you are encouraging whatever they are doing, whether right or wrong. But since I'm trying to bring out things that they need to do, so they are challenged, and I guess that brings up the name calling. But for the threat, okay, although I most times some emails, some text messages, one or two. But I think apart from that, I've not really had the serious, like, okay, we are going to shoot you down or some other things. But I think I'm still saying I'm still on the safer side. I've not really ruffled a lot of feathers as such.
Oh, even at this point, you believe you have more feathers to ruffle? Interesting. Let's talk about your reporting on IDPs, the internally displaced camps. What has been your experience? What is the type of life in those camps? What is the state of people there? And what do you think is the immediate most important thing that should be done to them, probably to help them have a better life in those areas?
Well, their state is very pathetic, because you see someone living in a school that is someone living in a school, because most of the IDP camps are like school turned to camps. Like they will camp in Guada, one of the camps in Guada. The IDPs are sharing the school with students.
Wow.
What happened is that in the morning when the student comes, they leave the classroom for the students. So when the students leave in the evening, they take back their things to the classroom, stay for the night, sleep at night. Then in the morning, they start getting back to take their things out, so that the students will come back and come back for their lessons. So that kind of situation is very, very depressing. And these are people that have their own houses, they have their own farms. You see someone that said, in a year before, I sell millions of corn, I have my farm yield millions of naira. But now, even to feed him or herself, they can't. They don't have enough food. They now, because I went there, I think last 2 weeks. Now they are going to the market. The men try to get maybe laborers job, while the women go to the market to help carry load. And if there's no load for them to carry, they go to where they measure, they measure where they measure in bags. I know when they measure the bags, some grains fall on the floor. So they sweep this when the customers have gone, they sweep the grains together with the sand, they pack it, go back to their camp, try to separate the sand from the food. So you see millet, corn, guinea corn, beans, rice together. They just try to cook it together just to get what to eat. Each time I go there, most times, I think the last incident that drove new people to the camp, I and a colleague had to go there to go and see how many new people they had in camp. So when there and when yes, so when there and we tried to know the new people that were in camp, and we realized that there were over 1,000 something, and these were people that came to join about under 2,000 already in camp. No
Wow.
place to sleep. They had no food. They even told us that since when we came here about 10 days ago, you are the only people that have come to ask us how we are feeling, how we are doing, what we are doing, or how we are coping. I said, you mean even the government has not come? They said no, that they have not even had food since when they came. They had to make do it and start sending messages to some relatives that are in safe areas to send money or food to them. So their situation is very pathetic. They need government assistance. They need assistance from individual interventions from individuals, NGOs, and the rest, not only from government. Because I think even the government is overwhelmed with the situation and cannot even cope with the volume of IDPs, people that are displaced daily in the states. So they need a lot of intervention. Some of them, like the ones that are in the Guada IDP camp, their children have not been to school. There are some of them that have been there for 3 years. Their children have not been to school for that 3 years.
Wow.
Despite, I wrote a story being in a school and not attending school. Their children cannot attend school because the parents don't have. What the head teacher said was that we are asking them, okay, to don't not even bring uniform, at least get some textbooks, some notebooks, bio for them so that they can be attending classes, and they have some PTA fees that they pay. But the parents don't have this, so the children have to stay. And yet they see children entering into classes, and yet they are not in class. They are not going to school for over 3 years. So the children have missed out from school for that long. So it's a very pathetic step. I always tell my colleague that there's no time I go there that I won't see one or two things to report, because there are always new aspects to tell their stories. The government needs to know that these people are suffering. And I feel most time it's the job of the journalist to do that.
What brought you into journalism? Was it a childhood ambition you pursued, or it was an accident?
I would say it was a childhood ambition I pursued. I started reading. I think I started reading by the age of 9, reading novels, reading a lot of things. Then I started writing little stories at the age of, I think, should I say 11 or so. So I was writing even when I was in school. Then every new holiday, I try to write a short story. So when we resume, like friends will start telling me, just now, what story do you write for us this term? We want to read your story. So I had this, I cut the book, and I just fold into two and like make different. I make it like 10 or 15 leaves. So I just write stories like that. So the book will now start going back from one person to another and one person to another, and that's I just knew, okay, I think I need to take up writing, and I continued the writing and continued on. When I wanted to go to tertiary institution, I said, no, this one is mass com, because when I was in secondary school, I was good in sciences. Even my I first went to a private school. My proprietor forced me to go to be in science class, and after 3 weeks in science class, I told him, sir, I can't do science, so I can't be doing acceleration. I can't do all those. He said, but you are good. You should be an architect. You draw well. You are the best in technical drawing. I said, I am not good in science. I'm going to art. He said, no, you are wasting your time. I said, no, I want to be art. You can't, you can't tell me to be in science. So it was like a dragging battle. Sometimes when I resume school, I just go to art class. When it comes around, he sees me in art class, he drags me from art class to science class. We did that for about, I think, a month. Then I think some teachers told him, let this girl do whatever she wants to do now. You're not the one that will follow her to tertiary institution when she wants to pursue her course. Let her do her art that she wants to do. He said, no, I was wasting my time. I told him, no, me, I am good. I know what I'm good in. If I can draw well, that is by the way. If I can do a little mathematics, I say one thing that will kill me in science class is I'm not good in maths. He said I can develop it. I said, no, that is not developing side. Let me go to my art class, and that was how I was able to escape the science class and go for art, and that was how. So when I was choose my course for tertiary education, there was no two choice. It was mass com straight. You see people choosing first, second choice and different distance. Mine was mass com, mass com, mass com, mass com. I said, only you mass com. I said, no, you can't give me mass com. You have to give me mass com. So you have no choice but to give me mass com. So I went for the mass com.
Well, What has been the most difficult assignment you've handled so far?
Ah, I think most of them are difficult. Okay, I was one of the most difficult one was, I think, the one I pursued last year. One report I pursued last year on some course in Cross River State about money wives. So I didn't even, I just knew, I read about the story somewhere, but I tried to see a recent report, if it's something I've been done recently, and I didn't. So I felt, okay, I need to look into this story. I didn't know anybody in Cross River State. I didn't know who to meet. So it was, unlike places where I know I had some correspondent and I can reach out to correspondent who link me up with one or two persons. This one, I think the correspondent, even the correspondent number was not going through, and I was just confused. And I knew I just need to write this story. So I had to do more research, reach out to, before I now got one of the person who is fighting against the money wives. So I had to reach out to him. And it was just surprising. He didn't know me from anywhere. He said, okay, you can come. I said, you mean I can't come? I don't know the place. I don't know anything. So he just directed me how I can move. So I moved from Niger to Cross River. When I was even at, I think it was in Abuja, when I met some colleague and they said, where are you going to? I said, Cross River. You, what is happening in Cross River again? Whose person trouble are you going to look for again? I said, no, I'm not already for this trouble. I'm just going to do a report. So I just went there, and meeting the girls, you see, these are girls that are facing some things, but they are not willing to. If I had gone there by myself, I wouldn't have even gotten them to. So luckily, it was the person who is trying to help them that introduced me to them. And even at that, you have to tell them, look, if you tell your story, if she tells it to the world, it might help. People might come to your rescue, and the rest and the rest. So at the end of the day, they were able to speak out. And I think some of the assignments or some of the investigation I do outside Niger State is they're always challenging, because I'm going to a new terrain. This is not Niger State where I know some places. I know, okay, if something happens, I can reach out to one or two people. So most of the time, it's always challenging. So I have to be very careful, map out my strategies, do a lot of things, and know who and how to really make my movements. But because I made up my mind that, okay, yes, although I'm the Niger State correspondent, I won't be doing reports only in Niger State. So when I get opportunity to access grants, I try to do reports, stories from other states. So it's always challenging, because you are going to a new terrain, you are meeting new group of people that you don't even know. You are trying to put your life in the hands of a fixer who might sell you out if if the price is high. But I thank God I've been that was it. But I thank God I've been lucky with fixers who have not sold me out. Because sometimes they ask me, okay, what are you coming to do? I say, no, don't worry. When I come, we'll discuss. Because I've received some training on how not to divulge a lot of information, just in case. So when I speak to them and I see their body language, it's just, I'll just say, okay, I think I can move around. Don't just worry. So sometimes there are some cases like that. I've had to change hotel and have to not speak the fixer for in some situation, just because I just saw the body language and I had to be careful. And in such cases, I have to go out on my own, which was very difficult, because if you had a fixer, the fixer is someone that is on ground and knows how to move about. But when you are going on your own, it's as if you are a blind man where you have to just go anywhere. So, but it has been, I thank God, a lot of the reports have been impactful.
How long have you been in journalism?
I would say I think about 9 years now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so these 9 years, I'm sure you have seen some of your colleagues leave the profession. Some are going into public relations or corporate communications. Others are just branching into anything that will give them survival. What do you think is accounting for this high level of attrition that we are experiencing in journalism?
I think lack of pay.
Mm,
The pay received by journalists is not enough.
mm,
Like, because there are a lot of journalists that um, want to do a lot of reports, but even your
mm,
take home pay, by the
mm,
time you can't, you even your take home pay is not enough to last you for a month. Talk less of now using that same fund to start
mm,
transporting yourself, accommodating yourself in some other for some reports. So the pay is not really encouraging. So when they see um a an opportunity that give them higher pay, they
mm.
also want to they grab that opportunity. And most time I say, well, I don't blame them because even if one thing I always tell people is the passion for the job and the grace God has given me to access several grants is what is
Yeah.
keeping me, because I wouldn't have been able to do several of these investigations if I didn't get the grants I was getting. Because even me myself, my take home pay is not enough for me. So why should I start involving myself in some investigations that I will have to spend money I should be
Yeah.
managing for myself.
Mm,
So then another thing is um not getting the expected impact that you want.
mm,
Yes, because I read a story about a colleague that just got employment as a diplomat in an embassy, and I think one of the reasons she said was that
Is it
some
the
of the
Norwegian
stories she
embassy
did.
job?
Yes,
I saw
yes.
it on
So
LinkedIn this afternoon.
some of the stories she did that she wanted the expected impact, she
Mm,
didn't get it. So that also discourage you from doing more reports. And there are some other cases that you are trying to bring out the challenges affecting people. These are the same people who will still attack you at the end of the day. So as
mm,
if you are doing something and you are not even being appreciated at all. You
mm,
are being fought, you are being resisted. So most times, why should I continue? Let me go for something else. There are also situations where they are being pressured, because if you are someone that is really like in the opposition so much, or
mm,
they know you're right, several hard things that eat them, they
mm,
come to you with so much with opportunities that you cannot resist.
mm,
And when you now start comparing, you say, well, what I'm even doing is not, I'm not being appreciated, I'm not being paid much. Let me go to where highest thing is
mm,
that I won't be part doing the journalism work I'm doing again. But so what most of them say is that, well, I'm still doing journalism, but not the way I should be doing it. I think that
mm,
is their defense. So I think those are the reasons why um people move on. I think lack of adequate pay,
mm,
lack of encouragement and motivation, you're not seeing not getting the expected impact that
mm,
you want.
mm. On the back of this, will you say journalism pays? Does journalism pay?
Yes, journalism pays. It does, because I would say okay, I can't speak for others, but let
Mm,
me say in my own case, journalism pays, because
mm,
I feel satisfaction when I go to. I always speak to the IDPs because I'm like one of their four um ardent reporter. I go there most to
mm,
report issues about them. So when I
mm,
go there and they say, we've gotten this, we've gotten this, I feel happy. I say, yes, at least this is something my report was able to do. This is
mm,
something my report was able to achieve. So even if the government is not telling you, oh, it's because of your report that we brought this, but at least something is being done there.
mm,
It pays. It gives you that fulfillment that yes, you are helping people. It gives you the fulfillment that you're making life a little easy for people. I'm being given the impression that yes, I'm fighting a battle that people appreciate. So I would say on that aspect, it pays, and it also pays because there are most time we feel as if our work are not being recognized, but it's being recognized, and it is when you go outside that you know people read about you, people know about you, people commend what you are doing, people appreciate what you are doing. When I went to I think it was Thailand, I was like the one of the only black there. And when I called my name Justina Asishana, I said, "Oh, say I've heard that name before. Yeah, the one that wrote it from one place in Nigeria. It's just like Nigeria." I said, "Oh, okay, Niger State." He said, "Yes, I love your report." I said, "Is that so?" He said, "That's good." So he gave me the yes, okay. At least people are reading about it.
Yeah.
And all the time, okay, as of I think that was it last year or last 2 years, I was involved in an NGO, Christian Solidarity Worldwide. They got in touch due to my report, and someone also recommended me. So they were concerned about IDPs, the state of IDPs. And with me on the forefront, we were able to reach out to several IDPs in Niger State. So whenever they are even trying to recommend people, they say, okay, she has done so thing. She knows their challenges. Speak to her, and that is fulfilling to me. I don't know about any other person, but to me that is fulfilling. And there was a time also that these same people bought some meals for the IDP that they could store for over a period of time and eat it little by little. These are people that don't have food for months, and yet you are giving them some food that that will last them for weeks. So I was in the forefront. We went there, we shared it, we showed them how they can prepare it. And it was through several of the reports I've written about them that they knew about the plight of the IDPs. So I would say it's really fulfilling, and it pays.
You are a fact checker. In Ghana here, one of the things politicians and the newsmakers don't like so much is this fact checking, which is exposing them and sometimes making them look like liars in the eyes of the public. In fact, some politicians believe that fact checkers are troublemakers who are out to create mischief around them. How much trouble are you also making with your fact checking, and how many tools are you stepping with your fact checking in the line of duty?
Okay. I'll not say I'm stepping on a lot of toes, because whenever I do a fact check, all the evidences are there. So if you want to argue with it, I say these facts are there. So whatever you're arguing with, bring your own statistics and bring your own facts. Let's compare them. So I think what they only hide behind is when you do anything, any story or anything, they call it fake news. So most I tell them, what people are saying is fake news. Is people that are spreading. You are the ones spreading the fake news. So I don't think my fact checking has really stepped on toes, but it has really how will I try to educate the people, because I get a lot of calls and someone was just saying, "Do you see something that was posted on social group? Please fact check that. I sent something to you just now. Please, I want you to fact check it." And even now, in this, I was speaking to, because I try to gather a group of people where we will be fact checking some the speeches made by politicians in the state during during this era. But we realized that I was just speaking to them some weeks ago. I said, is it that people are not talking? Because I'm not fluent in Hausa, so but even when they speak in Hausa, I'll tell somebody, okay, please translate it to me. And it's as if they are guiding themselves from even spreading misinformation. They are not stating statistics, they are not stating anything that you can use to fact check them. So
They don't
I
want
think
trouble.
fact checking has yes, I think fact checking has worked, and I think I like that. That yes, they only state okay, we'll do this. They only talk about the future, and you can't fact check the future. You can only fact
Yes.
check whatever they are saying now. So
Yes.
I think that's the motive they are using now. So
Mm.
whatever is fact, they don't even state about. They don't talk about statistics. Don't talk about, because the few ones they've tried to talk about, we've tried to debunk them, and we are
Mm.
working towards that. But every other one, they are being careful, and I think this
Mm.
is one of the election era where they are. I don't in Niger State, they are like less misinformation. There are no quoting of unnecessary statistics, no
Mm.
quoting of unnecessary, okay, this person did so thing where the person did not did, whereas
Mm.
is false and the rest. So I would say it has made them, our fact checking has made them very careful. So I will not say
Mm.
I stepped on toes, but it has made them careful.
How many times have you been approached with a bribe in the line of duty to compromise whatever you were doing and then take it?
How many times will I say? I will not say that much, because one thing I always say, because what I always tell my people is that most time they meet one or two of my colleagues who will tell them, ah, don't meet Justina. Oh. Even that one will enter the news. So most times, by the time I took to my status and say, I be winch. If you have something for me, you come and meet me straight, and don't go and start telling this and this and this and this. You don't need to involve plenty people in whatever we are. Come and meet me straight, and I will tell you yes or no. And
Mm.
not you going to meet somebody and the person will say, eh, don't meet Justin now. This thing you want to do, so we get to the news. I say, okay, it is well. So when they come and tell me, I say, you put that your story. If you know what happened, okay, what happened? They wanted to come. I say, come for what? You know now. Okay, so what now stop there? I told them not to come, that you write it in the story. I say, but you should have just told them to come now. I say, no, we know you. And these people are our people. They are our
Mm.
person. If you now disgrace them, it will affect us. I say, okay. I say, but please tell them next time they are dealing with me, they should come to me. I am not a witch. I am not wicked. I am not. I would be hearing that you want to come and meet me through a third party. Come and meet me straight. Then you know whether I will accept it or not.
Let's look at social media. How
Okay.
has social media changed the practice of journalism?
Yeah, it has changed a lot, because everybody now is now a journalist.
Mm.
Everybody wants to write everybody wants to write content, everybody wants to report everything they see. And I think that has really changed a lot, because even since I'm in Niger State, I always compare in Niger State. In Niger State, most of the I would say the so-called PROs
Mm.
and information people
Mm.
have tried to use the social media to avoid inviting journalists for programs and assignments. So most times they just post whatever they want, what the events on the social media. I remember with the police, I
Mm.
was complaining to the police and public relation officer in the state, telling him,
Mm.
how is so such um some important events are going on, and you won't invite journalists. The next thing you do, you just send a press statement, you start posting pictures on social media because you feel it's the social media. I say it's not done.
Mm.
I'm sure they should even teach you better in your if you once you are an information person. And when I spoke my mind, the guy blocked me. I belong to a group where I belong to a group, a WhatsApp group. So where he post this information after posting it on Facebook. So when I raised that, the next thing I saw was I've been moved from this group. I said, you mean we can't talk again? We can't complain that so they have looked at it that okay, we don't need to invite them, because I tell them, invite me to the program. I'm not asking you for anything. But invite me
Mm.
to the program, I will know what aspect to take my story from.
Yeah.
You can't come and write me a statement from what you feel I should write.
Yes.
It's not being done. When I come to your assignment, I know what angle to take it from. Because you can't just send me this because I know that is the positive aspect. There are other things that would have happened there that would be more impactful to the people for them to know. So I think it is a bit discouraging to those who are practicing journalists because people feel I feel is like taking this place. The social media is like taking the place. Why it has the good side is like taking the place of adequate reporting. People don't invite you for assignment again. You just see pictures as and one kind of scanty statement on the social media, expecting you that this you should just pick that and make do of it. But one thing I always say is that, well, most time they give me a clue of what to look into. Because most time when I see the reports on on Facebook, on Twitter, I go deeper. I say, well, okay, you're giving me a clue. So let me look deeper, not just your statement. So, but the good part is that it has also helped in spreading our content. Because a journalist who is on your should know that your report should be on social media. Your thought, even your what I how I knew I might thought your thought also, whatever you are thinking, you can use it to set agenda for people. There are several things that people want to talk about, but they can't talk about. But with your page, with your social media handles, you can raise that topic and draw conversation or draw discussion. So it helps in that aspect. But the other aspect is that people are trying to use it to like complement that they don't need journalists to attend events and activities, which is not take on such activity, which the social media will not give us.
All over Africa, social media has created richer bloggers than richer journalists. How did we miss out? Were we sleeping, or we never trusted social media that it was going to make us rich or better our fortunes as journalists?
Yes, we never trusted the social media. Even till now, I know several journalists who are not on the social media and they feel it's not important for them to do. Some of these stories these bloggers write are taken from our own stories.
Yes.
I think several complain of a journalist saying, can you imagine this blog just took my story word for word. The only thing they just remove is their byline and nothing else.
Imagine.
So these people are using our own content to make money. So why can't we use it to drive traffic also to our own pages, to our own handles and own blogs and operate blog? Although operating blogs is time consuming if you are a practicing journalist who go to the field daily. But with that, you can still promote yourself through the social media. And with that, you can get it brings in other opportunities. So yes, we are not taking the social media, we are not taking the advantage of social media as much as we should. And I think journalists need more, should I say, more enlightenment. Because some people just feel the social media or Facebook is just for I'm eating today, I'm going this and that. They don't draw conversation, they don't try to set agenda, they don't try to I know I know of a colleague that you can't even see report any of his news reports on his pages. Like I just started last year. I began working on multimedia reporting. So I know I work for a print media. So I'm not usually so most of my videos might not be used. So when my stories, even before once I send the story to the office, I start working on my videos. I ensure I do like a script and bring out the video, get it ready. So once my report is published, I post the report, I post my video. together. When people watch the video, it even tells more about the whatever they are what I'm reporting than the written content. So with that, I'll be able to draw a lot of should I say a lot of audience to my page just with that aspect of adding video to my reporting. So I realized that we need to do more of it. We need to do more of it. Most time when sometimes I just try to document, okay, I went to so place, a new place, and just like a travel log, I do that. So we just need to be versatile, try to promote ourselves more. We do a lot in promoting people. We do a lot in promoting several people, but we do little in promoting ourselves. And if we don't promote ourselves, nobody will promote us. So I think journalists need to be more enlightened on how to use the social media for their own advantage, how to create blogs, especially those who are not very busy. They can work on blogs and get reports, do a lot of things, get traffic, create a name for themselves in that aspect.
It's been 9 years. What are your golden memories?
You said?
It's been 9 years now. What are your golden memories?
My golden memories is there are several of them. Several of them. I think one of the most important one is one of the golden memory was last year or last 2 years last year when I was able to get some food relief for the IDPs, seeing their smiles, even when we were trying to practicalize it, teaching them how to cook it. Just looking at them, and it was just so you mean I could do this? You mean with my report, with whatever I wrote, was able to bring this impact? It really touched me. And I think another golden memory was when I also report the House of Assembly. When I was in the house, there was a plenary one day, and it was my report that was stated and said, so thing happened, so place. It was reported by the Nation newspaper, and we need to do something about it. And I say, wow. So I think the first trip out, my first fellowship, international fellowship, is also a golden memory. And I think that gave me a network of journalists that we still relate to now. And those people have tried to open me up to more opportunities. So that is also something that's been very golden to me. I can't forget that trip. I can't forget, and it made me meet my mentor. I've been hearing about him so long, and in that trip I also met him. And he knew about me, but we've never met. So it gave us an opportunity to meet. I heard his story, and I said, if you can do this, then I think I can follow through your path. And it has been very great since then. It has made me to push for more investigative reporting, push for more fellowship, to accept more grants, and it really opened me up to a lot of opportunities.
You've done 9 years. How many years do you want to go before you drop your pen?
I'll say as long as I can, but okay, my target is, I said I should spend nothing less than, should I say, 15 years, depending on how good the terrain is for journalists in Nigeria. Although I'm aiming higher, I'm trying to go internationals.
Yeah, which is very
So
important.
yeah, so I still need I feel there are a lot of grounds for us to cover. There are a lot of things that are still not being reported, and I think I need to cover that before I drop my pen. It's very, very important. The people need to know about this issue, and we need people that will report it, because a lot of people are not really reporting that. So I just feel most time I always say we are few that do this reporting, and we need more hands, or we need more grants to push us to report more. So I think there are still a lot of things for me to report, and each year also bring new issues, new challenges, new. So I think I should say this 9 years. So in the next 10 years, I should be preparing to drop my pen because I'm going to should I say mentoring, because I started a little network on media mentors. So I'm trying to mentor the younger ones, because I realized that they just most times they don't really have mentors too. I didn't should I say I didn't have that much mentor, but mentoring, until I came in touch with some group of people that I really that mentored me, and I opened myself up to mentoring. So I feel that aspect is something that is very important. So if while I'm trying to do my mentoring network and my journalism hand to hand, but I'm looking at in the next 10 years, I think I should be satisfied with whatever I'm reporting and move on to mentoring full time.
A lot of politicians are setting up media houses, political ownership of the media. Are we caught in trouble? Is there trouble on the horizon? Is there a reason to be worried?
I would say it works in two ways. There should be reasons to be worried, and there should not be reasons to be worried. There should be reasons to be worried if the people that are employed are not professional enough to, especially the editors, are not professional enough to like differentiate what what is being published and whatever the publisher or the owners want. I say it will place the pay. But I feel if you have the ownership, but can you give us an opportunity to run this paper in the best way we can? I think there are people, the paper will really stand out. I always make myself as a case study. I'll not say I'll make myself as a case study. I always say, people say the paper I work for is mostly APC oriented.
Okay.
And I am in an APC state-led administrative state. But most reports I write are, should I say, I'll not say against, I'll just say it's not favorable to them. And most times they wonder, how come your paper publishes your stories? Why do they publish your stories? And I tell them, my editors have not had a problem with my reports. And my reports are always factual.
Yeah.
And they feel it is for the good, and it will make impact to the people, and the public needs to know. So that is why my report is published. I told them, well, if you have a problem, go to the office and report me. I'm sure, because I'm sure they would have done a lot of reporting, and I really don't know. So I feel ownership would not really take much hold if the editors are determined to make impact with the media organization. That's what I feel, and that's what I know as my experience, because I've not had any of my reports, be it negatives, be it positive, because although I don't know which positive report I've written, but they all say they're all negative. Even the analysis, I did an analysis last week, and they were calling me and said, he's still not objective enough. So I don't know. So I don't know which one is positive again, which one is negative. I only write what I feel will be good for the people. So if they can publish my reports, which are always bringing out issues affecting that the government would not want addressed, then I think any other is not the matter of, I will not say I don't know about the up tier whatever, but from what me I've seen, my reports have always been this thing. So I will not say, yes, ownership might constrain the editors a bit, Maybe they might want to go all out and they might not be able to go all out. But in some other ways, if they are able to also take their stand, to be able to bring more humane face to the media organization.
Right. Do you support calls for the licensing of journalists? Should journalists be licensed?
Licensed in like the way medical practitioners
Yes,
are licensed.
and lawyers are
Yes,
licensed.
I think it is very important because I said earlier that everybody now is now posing to be a journalist. Sometimes you just meet someone and say, I'm a journalist. From where? How come? Because you have one Facebook page that you are putting in report, you have now turned to a journalist. So if we are licensed, it will cut a lot of this. It will reduce a lot of this. Anywhere you go, you say I am a journalist, I'm a journalist. You can't go anywhere and say I'm a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. It's not something that is not something like bread that is being given to everybody. Also, those who will be responsible for the licensing of journalists should also make the requirements known, so that not just everybody will come in. There should be some, okay, you need to get this, you need to get this. And just like lawyers, you need to have attended law school before before you are now certified as a lawyer, or the medics, even those who are pharmacy, all of them they have licensing. So why can't journalists need it? We need a law because I should say I'm tired of everybody becoming a journalist. I went to one place and say I'm a citizen journalist. I said, which one is that aspect again? Citizen journalist. This one journalist. This one journalist. Everyone is journalist. No, it's not. We need to get that, because I feel that is why we are being taken for granted. If you are licensed, I'm not sure anybody will come and just talk to you anyhow or try to treat you anyhow. You have that integrity that you belong to something that is valued.
If we are to go back into time, 10 years, will you still choose journalism?
I will. At all, anytime I will choose it. I always tell people that what keeps me in this job is not anything but the passion. The passion and being the voice to the voiceless. I think that's just what keeps me. It's not the money, it's not whatever. If not, if it's the money, I would have left since now. Since I would have gone to join something else and done something else. But it's just the passion and knowing that you are the voice of people who can't really speak for themselves. So in 10, 20 years, 30 years, even if I come back to life again, I won't always want to be a journalist.
My final question. What is your take on the brown envelope?
Okay. The brown envelope I would say, is something that is being, most time is concealed. So sometimes I always say, yeah, this is not, they always put in white envelope now. And sometimes now it's even transfer. In
In
this day
fact,
now,
Mr. Lekon Tufoduri told me these days there is also transfer.
so the brown envelope, what I always see it is really most time that is unethical. Yes. But I also try to reason it from another aspect, in the aspect that there are some journalists that don't have any other means of surviving apart from that. So even why it is unethical, even why they might not want to take it, but the thought of having their next meal, having something to cater for their family, it gives they accept it. So most journalists are not really happy accepting this, because yes, they know it is unethical. It tries to sway their decision on whatever they want to report, but they are also constrained. And media organizations can also help in this by paying journalists, because when there are some journalists that are not being paid for years. Yes, I worked in New Nigeria newspaper, and before I left, I knew how many months I was on salary before moving on to the nation. So
Mm-hmm.
you could imagine when someone that is married, or a man also, a man that in that aspect is working without, then he's being offered this one envelope and this envelope and saying this. And some people also try to say, okay, I'm not giving you a bribe, I'm not giving you anything, okay, take for your transport. Should I say, you will tell them not to accept it as their transportation, even when they are not receiving money from their media organization. So yes, it is unethical, but we can do a lot more. Media organization can do a lot more if they want this. Media organization can make this to stop. Seriously, they can. When you're journalist, you can't see a journalist from BPC collecting ban envelope with the money that they are paid. You are paid how much every month, and even after removing everything, you still have something more to save. You won't go after ban envelope. But media organizations in Nigeria are not helping matters, so they are encouraging it. So why it's unethical? We can also put an end to it if journalists are well paid. Because journalists have no other, most journalists have no other choice but to accept this. Sometimes when I speak like this, people say I'm defending it. I am not defending it. I'm just trying to state the reality on ground, and it's the fact. It's the fact on ground. You can't tell someone that you have not received salary for 2-3 months to be given 5,000 in an event. Say, okay, for your transport. And some of them, I know some of them that even when they collect this money, they report whatever they want to report. They report from the objective side, they report from the real parts that they need to report. So these days, we should even stop saying brown envelope, white envelope, transfer envelope. It's just transfer envelope. Now there's cashless. Everybody now is saying transfer. So
This has been PENSDOWN. Today I've had the company of my colleague all the way from Niger State in Nigeria. She is correspondent for the Nation newspaper in that state. Justina Asishana is her name. We've talked her journalism journey. She's an investigative journalist and a fact checker who doesn't joke with data when reporting. Because of that, sometimes friends can become enemies, enemies can become friends, depending on where her story goes. Yes, sometimes even her comments can cause her to be removed from WhatsApp groups. Just imagine. Journalism can give you trouble anytime when you least expect it. It's been an exciting conversation. This has been PENSDOWN. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next
thank
time
you
with
very
another
much.
colleague, and we'll be
All
talking
right, thank
about
you.
their journalism journey. Bye for now.